Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday night's doctor's call. As you can see, I am not Dr. Stacy. I don't even resemble her, but my name is Laura Balzer for our guest on this evening. I am a senior presidential director with LifeWave, and I have been a part of this company for 4 years. But I want you to know I've been in the industry now for about 5 decades. So I think you're going to really enjoy this evening. We have two incredible guests with us who are very much in the professional athletic world as much as they are into health and wellness. But before we get started tonight, I do want to remind everybody that we are providing information on an educational purpose only. We have many practitioners, MDs, and doctors a part of our teams, but we want you to know these are not your doctors, your practitioners, and we always want you to seek the advice of your doctors. Let them know what you're doing new. You never know what you might expose them to. And please understand that we are certainly not here to cure, diagnose, or treat. And as always, for our pregnant or nursing moms, also take that time to let your practitioners know exactly what you're doing. And again, you might teach them something that they didn't know before. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to introduce our first guest to you. She's an incredible young woman. She is an old soul. She's way beyond her years, and she's just really a blast to be around. I want to introduce through her bio first, and then I'm going to let her come on the screen, is Christy Venton. Christy is a CFNC, and I'm going to let her explain that to you, is a former professional bodybuilder athlete with over 15 years in health and wellness. As a functional nutrition counselor, biofeedback technician, and a fitness coach, she helps clients heal from chronic ailments, balances hormones, restores gut health, and elevate mental well-being by addressing toxicity, deficiencies, and root cause solutions. Wow, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Since being introduced to LifeWave's cutting-edge phototherapy, especially our regenerative activating patch, the X39, Christy has witnessed some of the most rapid and transformative results of her career. She empowers clients to achieve lasting health, mind, body, and spirit. And I just love, Christy, everything about that, because what you've done in the past totally encompasses what we're doing here with this technology. So I know, share how you were introduced, but really what most importantly I want to hear is a little bit about you, why you were attracted to it, and then how could it have helped you in your athleticism? Because you were a competitor.
You still wearing cargo pants that feel like cardboard? That's why you need bearskin cargo pants. The 6-pocket breathable.
Thank you, Laura, so much for that intro. I'm truly humbled by that. And we just all appreciate you so much for your time and dedication to us and your story yourself. And so, yeah, my name's Christy Vinton. My background is in health and fitness, very passionate about it. And my story with the patches, the LifeWave patches, began back in 2020 as a major skeptic. I think a lot of people can relate to that when I say that. And maybe you have a lot of people that are currently skeptical, and that's okay. So I heard about the patches back in 2020 from my beautiful mother, who's very much into natural healing as well, who got me into natural healing. Fast forward throughout my practice and years of work, I would have clients bring me patches, bring me sleeves of the LifeWave patches, telling me and making claims that it was improving their energy, reducing pain, getting rid of inflammation, boosting mental clarity, all these wonderful things. And I just thought to myself, there's just no way this little patch is doing all those things, right? So now, fast forward, I would call myself ignorant. I only wish I would have grabbed a hold of it sooner because of what it did for me. Fast forward, I had the opportunity to hear about what this technology does, how it works at one of my naturopathic doctor's wellness seminars that she was hosting, and really explained to the T how this technology works. And I just knew immediately it was a byproduct of what I already do and what I already advocate for, which is healing the body at the root cause, at the cellular level. And so that really stuck with me. However, I was still a little skeptical, won't lie. So it took my husband James getting on the patch technology for various issues and things he was wanting to improve. Fast forward to 2 weeks of him being into the patches, I saw drastic changes in his skin that you will all see here in a minute in his before and afters.
Yeah.
Many claim that it looks like his father-son picture next to each other. And so seeing those changes before my eyes just blew me away. I knew that this technology is doing exactly what it's saying it's doing. Fast forward, I actually got on the patches, and within a 2-week period, I noticed things like more energy, deeper sleep, less inflammation, less bloating, hormonal balances, skin changes, glowing skin, faster recovery, which is so important for me being a former athlete as well. Fast forward to 6 weeks in, I previously had 2 torn ACLs. All those people dealing with injuries, you want to listen to this. 2 torn ACLs, torn MCL, dislocated kneecap, did the whole 9 yards to my knees, suffered with a lot of pain throughout the years, which drastically affected my mobility in everyday life, not just fitness, but everyday life. And 6 weeks in, I was pain-free. As well as 6 weeks in, I was pain-free from my chronic tennis elbow pain, which, as we all know, that doesn't go away once you get it. So I was absolutely elated with those results. As well as throughout that journey, the energy, right? We have more energy, we feel good, we do more, we accomplish more, we want to be more. And so that's huge, right? So that's where my journey began. And I will never go a day without patching. Immediately when I went through all those changes, I knew my clients needed this in their hands as well.
I love that. I love that, Christy, because you really just kind of engulf everything that this technology provides for the body. It's a tool in your toolbox now, and you have many tools in your toolbox. Mm-hmm. So here you're experiencing this technology after your years of competitive bodybuilding, fitness arena. I know how hard you train. I've watched you train, right? I get it. Just because of my own background. But now that you know about this technology and you look back when you were training to be on the stage, tell me how this would have affected you if you had known about this back then. Because I think what we train for is also becomes a part of our day-to-day life as well. I like people to see that. So can you touch on that a bit?
That's a good point, Laura. It's actually something I think about a lot. Thinking about, wow, how would things have been different if I would have had this when I competed? And the major things that stand out to me would be that, first of all, any kind of sport at an elite level is very hard on the body. It's very rigorous on the body. The dieting, the training, right? It's so tough and demanding on the body. You really do suffer with a lot of, low energy, slow recovery, aches, pains, soreness, injuries, fatigue, right? And so those things really, hormonal imbalances. So those things really take a toll on the body. And I always think back, I'm like, wow, if I would have had this technology, I know that my story would have looked a lot different. I do feel that it would have helped me be in the sport longer. It would have preserved longevity. Coming out of bodybuilding, I had a lot of issues. I had a lot of wear down, breaks and wear down on the body, and I was young. And to go through that breakdown on my body was just very tough in my everyday life as well. And so looking back, I wish I would have had this technology at that time. I know things would have looked a lot different. I know my hormones would have been in a much better place. I would have had so much more energy. Right. I would have recovered faster. I would have been sleeping better, which, as you know, sleep is so important for athletes. As well as the benefits that the patches offer with building lean muscle mass and burning body fat. I know my body would have been so much more efficient on a whole new caliber if I would have had this patch technology then.
I love how you said that, more efficient. And, I have heard you say, because, you and I had chat, we have discussions, which you kind of thought, oh my gosh, that was a time of my life that I would never revisit before or again because of the wear and tear it had on my body. And then I heard you say,
this morning on Fox and Friends, a wife's testimonial about the baking soda trick went viral with 15 million.
You know what? I can maybe entertain this again. And I love that because it shows the power of the body and how it can heal and regenerate and restore for even for you to get into that thought process again, right? So I love that. And I thank you. You're amazing. And what I want to do is I want to bring your sweet husband on here because he has an incredible story. And I love the fact that you guys you've come together and it's a family thing. Like you come from two different spaces and you brought it together and you believe and you think the same way in a lot of these areas. So thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you, Laura.
Okay, so I'm going to bring James up on the screen because I want you to meet this incredible man. Oh, that's not James, that's Christy. Let's see here. Hold on. Here we go. All right, James, before you get started, I do want to respectfully read your bio. I want everyone to know who you are. For those of you who have never met James, he is a combat veteran and a U.S. Coast Guard licensed captain who has dedicated his life to strength, service, and resilience. A long life athlete and competitive bodybuilder himself, James rose from a childhood of poverty and homelessness, driven by an unwavering commitment to become his best. Today, he continues to lead and inspire, not only through his story, but through cutting-edge wellness technologies like LifeWave. Since incorporating the X39 activation patch into his routine, he's experienced faster recovery, improved performance, and a renewed vitality, helping him stay mission ready, both on land and sea. So first and foremost, James, thank you for your service. And I know everybody on here would say and mimic that as well. But wow, you've got a big story. You walked a lot of life.
Well, Laura, before we get to this, I want you to show the audience a picture of me when you first met me a little over a year ago, please.
All right, let me share this because it's pretty incredible. There it is. In full color.
That is 2023 versus this week.
Wow. That's incredible.
So,
and just like Christy just said, one looks like your father and one looks like you, right?
yes, ma'am. You know, audience, this is the old me and this is the new me. This is almost 2 years later. And this is the healthiest I have been in the last 15 years. I think about 15 years ago, and I was not this healthy. I had a lot of issues. So, Laura, I want to go ahead and introduce myself. You guys, you know, I'm former Navy, go Navy. I am a towboat captain. I have driven boats anywhere from Texas all the way to Florida. And my service in the military left me with a lot of issues. You guys, I suffer from PTSD. And ever since, back in 2000, I had to take up to 5 to 10 sleeping pills to sleep, and then I got on medications from the VA. I was on 7 medications plus testosterone just to get through my day. You guys, I was deteriorating. I was aging fast. And, one day I was introduced to this technology and these gentlemen, they said all these nice, kind words. And, I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and listen to them. I have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And I put the patches on. I didn't think about it. I went all in, just bought a bunch of them. Okay, guys? And on week 6, something happened. I woke up and I was pain-free. When I was overseas, I was sustaining a bunch of injuries. My back was destroyed. Slip disc on both sides and a tear on my disc. And guys, I was in pain every single day, but you just deal with it, right? Medications. And I woke up pain-free, and that was kind of odd. And then more things started changing. I used to wear glasses. I couldn't see in front of me. And one day I put my glasses on, and it hurt my eyes. My eyesight corrected. And to this day, it keeps on correcting. My eyes are getting better. What is happening right now? My skin, as you can see, month 4, my wife can tell my skin changed. And that was incredible. But on month 7, I woke up and the eyes never lie. I was like, whoa. And I instantly made a video. My skin completely changed by month 7. You guys, if I give you one piece of advice, do not stop patching. Wait for your miracle. It's going to happen. And that wasn't the miracle I was waiting for, but I got that miracle. Okay. If it's doing that to my outside, what is it doing to my inside? Okay. That's month 7. Month 9, I had a shingle itch all on my body. I had shingles 2 years ago, and the shingle itch finally went all the way. And I had skin tags on my body. And one day, it was by month 9 or 10, they turned black. They swelled up, turned black, and then they fell off in 3 days. That was incredible. Okay, I keep on going through changes. After 1 year of patching, I had scarring on my chest from shingles. It's all gone now completely. You guys, my arms and my legs, you know, I love my tattoos. And if you look at my arms, you can't see, but my arms, my tattoos got more refreshed. Now, let's talk about brain health, guys. Brain health is important, okay, to longevity, okay? And when you serve in the military, your brain gets broken down. In fact, if you're a civilian, you go through things, the brain breaks down because of traumatic things going on in your life. Anxiety, depression. I suffer from all these things. I didn't want to admit it for so many years, but one day I had to admit it. And you guys, this is the thing. This is the crazy thing. When something happens and you have anxiety, depression, PTSD, it puts you in a bubble. You have to get out of that situation. You have a bad day. Your day is just not good. Well, after all this technology, at a certain point, I started to grab myself, like reach out and grab myself when I had a problem, and brought myself back to earth, and it wouldn't bother me as much. On this point now, a year and 4 months of patching, when something happens, I don't lose it. I gather myself and I'm okay. How is that possible? Because a year and a half ago, something happened. You guys, I had anxiety and depression. I got medications. I would isolate myself. Yet I might drink alcohol. I don't even want alcohol anymore. Why is that? If something happens, I don't want anything. I just want to sit down and woosah, and I'm okay. Brain health is so important. And the last thing I say about your heart health is so important. I was breathing hard. I snored like a monster. I don't snore anymore. And my heart, when I breathe, it feels good. It's like amazing, you guys. We're talking about we're talking about athletes right now. You guys, when I train, I recover faster. I feel better. I feel like an athlete again, all because I decided to wear a technology.
Tesla is finished. Elon has failed. That is what they want you to believe. But tech expert Jeff Brown, who told
Wow. You know, I think the thing that I love about having both of you on is because as I sit here and listen to you speak, I can see your beautiful bride, right? And some of the things that you experienced are heavy enough on you. Like, that's a personal thing. We know that weight. It's hard. I mean, right? It's hard. But many of us experience these things, and we are married. We have somebody important that's in our life. And it can be equally as hard on them, just in a different way, right? Christy's nodding her head. And I know she's nodding her head out of respect for you, James, right? Because she's here with you, right? She's probably provided a lot of comfort. And it's not one of these statements, happy wife, happy life. That is just not what we're speaking about here. We're talking about married people who go through times of, and it's hard to support. And when you see somebody come out of something of that nature, or gain, because this technology is about bringing the body back into balance. Christy, you said it earlier, mind, body, and spirit. And James, for you to say, and I know a lot of people are going to hear this, whether it's right now or the thousands of people that will watch the recording, to be able to have the wherewithal to recognize that something's going on, to bring yourself back in a place to say, I've got this. I know how to do this. I'm calm, right? And to have a tool in your toolbox that has put you in that space is huge, right? It's huge.
Yes, it is, Laura. And you know, I want to tell the audience something. Every day, an average of 25 veterans commit suicide. That is very sad. It's hard to understand what a veteran goes through. unless you're a family member or you served. But what you can do is respect them. And, I want to thank, first of all, my wife for putting up with me because it's not easy. I want to thank you, Laura, for being my friend. And I want to thank David Schmidt. David Schmidt, thank you so much, sir, for what you've done, because this actually helps us. And I would love to touch more veterans out there. If you're a veteran, if you're a family member of a veteran or a friend of a veteran that needs help, please contact me, you guys, because this honestly is life-changing for a veteran. And it's hard to explain, but you know what? It works, and it has changed my life. And like you said, Laura, to be able to grab yourself and relax in those situations is huge. Quality of life. It's given us veterans a second chance at life.
Right. No, it does. And then, of course, you mentioned the athletic part of this very quickly, because I want to explain how the technology works. But James, just like you for Christy, you have found yourself at the age of
48 years old.
48 years old. You've always worked out. You're in the gym all the time. You and Christy train together all the time. But now you have found yourself in a little bit of a different spot of training with 2 Olympic athletes who are now putting you through the rigors at the age of 48. What does that look like? Tell me about your recovery. What are you feeling? Because you didn't have this technology the first go around on this.
Yes, Laura. So this week I started training with 2 Olympic athletes. And these guys are training me like I'm in their age, in their 20s, and putting me through the same exact regimen that an Olympic athlete is in. And I'm doing it, you guys. I am actually doing it. I don't have any carbohydrates in me right now, and I'm thriving right now. Guys, my cheat code is this. Okay, this is my cheat code. Okay, you want and right here, guys. Look at X39, X49. Aeon and Alaveda, the Fab Four. That is my cheat code. It allows my body to function like it's younger. The patches are just the on switch. My body's doing this, but David Schmidt figured out how to turn the body on. And I know it because I feel younger, because I'm 48 years old and I'm training with a 21 and 25-year-old, and I'm doing it. I'm thriving. It's just amazing.
I love the way you said that. It's the turn on switch. That is fabulous. I love that. All right. So James, you've given Christy the ability to pop in here with us and talk a little bit about, Christy, how this works. How does it work? If you want to unmute yourself, love.
There we go. Yeah, so that's a great question. And that was the first question I had. How is this working? It's non-transdermal, so what's going in the body, right? Most of us are familiar with transdermal patches like nicotine, estrogen patches, all those good things, which actually aren't good, but we'll save that for another day. So yes, the first thing I think people need to know, it is non-transdermal. If you do not know that, it is non-transdermal, so there are no side effects. I love that. Very important. And I also think before we go into how the patches work, it's important to know how our bodies work, right? We know that our bodies work off specific pathways in the body. We know that we operate off of mechanical, chemical, and electrical energy all day long. I like to think of these pathways in our body like highways in our body, little microcurrent in our bodies. And so immediately when you put that patch on your body, on your skin, it reflects a specific wavelength of light back into your body, telling your cells to do specific mechanisms, specific functions. And like James said, it's an on flip for your body, telling them to wake up, go to work. And, I like to think of it as a snow globe effect, because we all know, many of us have heard the story about as you get older, we start to lose our master cells, our peptides, our stem cells, right? And so I love to use this analogy about the snow globe effect. When you put a patch on your body, you're waking those cells up, okay? Think of a snow globe, sits on the counter for years and and years and years. No light, no snow, right? You give a little shaky, shaky, the snow flurries go to work to make a very beautiful little picture. And that's the same with our bodies. When you put that patch on your body is waking up like a beautiful snow globe and working the way it is intended. And we know what the patch does. We know that activates those key peptides, GHK, which is the fountain of youth. And we know that GHKCU has so many scientific studies that it activates our body's stem cells. Stem cells are literally the holy grail of healing. They can turn into whatever cell, organ, tissue the body needs. And so you might wonder, well, how are people getting all these results like injury repair and inflammation reduction, more energy, mental clarity, name XYZ issue gone? How is that happening? The power of master cells, stem cells, peptides, all those things that are being woken up inside of our bodies that creates this chain reaction. And I just love and appreciate how David Schmidt created such a convenient therapy that we can do anywhere in the world from the comfort of our own homes. Everybody's so busy, right? And so it's amazing. Our bodies.
This brilliant device keeps your home cool in summer, even during heat waves and power outages. It's smaller than a lunchbox, cools any room within 3 minutes.
Are the machine, you put the patch on, wake up those cells, and you are setting your body up for success.
Absolutely. And, you know, Christy, the ease in which we can use it, like, you know, they saw it on the side of James' neck. They see it on your arm. You can't see mine because it's on the back of my neck right now. But those of you who are watching and joining us, it's so simple. Put it anywhere on your body. You know, when people get started, we kind of suggest on the back of the neck or below the belly button in the beginning. Why? Because that's where our over 90 clinical studies were done. And it's just easy to remember those spots. And you're just going to put it on for 12 hours. Leave it on for 12 hours. Take it off for 12 hours. Get up the next day and start all over again, right? 12 hours on, 12 hours off. And one important thing while you're wearing your patch, please remember to hydrate. Please remember to hydrate because you're going to supply conductivity to your cells. They're going to be able to communicate better with one another. And what that means for you is for you to get result sooner than later, right, Christy? Like you with the biofeedback, you see that. We can't get into that now. That's another Zoom. But, right, we see that energy change happen very, very quickly. So we want to thank all of you for joining us. We want to thank those who are viewing this at a later time. Please remember to always get back to the person that invited you here to this space. Let them walk over with you your things that you have going on or your health goals that you want to address. I don't know, maybe the Fab Four is for you, or maybe it's just getting started with X39 and Eon in the very beginning. But we want you to know that we are here to walk with you every step of the way so you can reach your goal. And like James said, give it time. Don't quit before your miracle, because all of ours are a little different from one another. We want to thank you for coming. We will always be here on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So always feel free to come back and bring a friend, bring a guest, and we will see everyone really soon. James, Christy, love you both. Thank you so much for joining us.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
They don't believe how toxic this is.